Yes, fight fans, body and mind, sports, my people. You are fully appreciated. In this round, my guys, my people, let's get right into it. Of course, I want to talk AJ and Jake. Simply put, my guys, my people, it was absolutely horrendous, horrible stuff to watch. But still, if you are like myself and you were tuned into this fight, then you still had your eyes glued to your TV set in total anticipation of when Jake Paul was going to get splattered, my guys, my people. And that is the problem, right? Because people are only tuning into Jake Paul fights for the shock value now. You know, to witness the unthinkable take place while waiting for the worst case scenario and the inevitable or the unbelievable to happen. Just for comparison, let's look at Jake Paul's four last fights. First, we had Jake versus Old Man Mike Tyson. Then we had Jake versus Chavez Jr., which flopped. It wasn't on Netflix, it was on the Zone, my guys, and it flopped. Obviously, because it didn't really have any shock value attached to it, my guys, my people. You know. But then after that, we had Gervonta Tank Davis versus Jake Paul. Tank Davis, a 135-pounder, 7 divisions separating them. Jake Paul, a 200-pounder, and a cruiserweight, my guys, my people. A total mismatch, and that fight didn't happen. It did fall through, my guys, my people. And then we got the AJ fight, right? But I think at this point, you get, you know, the point that I'm trying to make. And that is that Jake Paul is ever increasingly pushing the limits past boundaries now, where the average Joe Blog on the road is now wondering why his bouts are being sanctioned at all, my guys, my people. And that is absolutely not good for the sport, you know, because it means that it is just clear. It is clear, very, very glaring, the underlying dangers, my guys. So glaring that, you know, if God forbid that, you know, an unfortunate life-changing event or a fatality takes place in one of these fights, and you believe me, boxing will be dragged into the docks and it will be on its knees, my guys, my people. Now, I did predict that Jake Paul, this fight would end badly for him against Anthony Joshua, and I was right. I was right. He suffered a double broken jaw, my guys, my people, and dislocated teeth and jawline. His bottom teeth punched in on one side of his face is forming a U shape. Now those affected teeth will have to be removed, but I don't feel sorry for Jake. He did get his just desserts, my guys, my people. You know, I'm just glad that he lived to tell the tale, and hopefully he's learned his lesson. But has he learned his lesson? You know, because it looks like he's even getting ever more brazen now, because not long ago that he had this break, and already he's calling out Saul Canelo Alvarez, saying, give me Canelo in 10 days, my guys, my people. Now, I'm sure Canelo wouldn't mind finishing off whatever is left of Jake Paul's jawline, but he would have to wait. He would have to wait, obviously, because Jake Paul is going to take some time for him to heal up. And I think it might be a long time. I'm even thinking, would we even see him back in the ring? Because not long after he called out Canelo, he issued his retirement on social media, and these were his words, quote, my eyes are open to what real boxing looks like now. F-U-C-K, that, my guys, my people, end quotation, my guys, my people. And I think that speaks for itself. That speaks for itself. But for the sake of optimism, maybe if Jake Paul does come back into the sport of boxing, you know, how would this affect him psychologically? Because if you guys remember, I did predict that this fight with AJ is not a win-win situation for Jake. And what if he gets damaged irreparably, my guys, my people? What if he gets damaged irreparably? It looks like that may have been the case. And when I say irreparably, I don't just mean physical damages, emotional, mental, right? So I'm wondering, in future fights, how might that affect him in the ring, my guys, my people? Also, how might that affect how he picks his fights next time? Is he now going to pick on somebody more closer to his size and level and ability, or is he going to still is he going to still keep trying to make these outlandish bouts? I don't know. I don't know with Jake Paul, but whatever the case, I can guarantee you that he definitely won't be going for another heavyweight who is a huge puncher, my guys. But if he does carry on fighting again, my guys, you know, he has said that he will move back down to cruiserweight. But at cruiserweight, it depends who he fights. I think he might do quite well, because I don't think Jake is that bad. He's got good punching technique and obvious, you know, athleticism. Not out of this world athleticism, but not bad. Not bad. He's got decent power for his size, right? And he's got decent technique of how he throws that overhand right. He does disguise it pretty well, my guys, my people. So I think he'll do quite well at cruiserweight up to a certain level. I don't think he's a world level fighter. I don't know whether he will ever make it there, but he is better than what people think. Jake Paul is better than what people think. He has improved a lot since his debut with Anderson Gibb. What year was that? I think 2000, year 2000, my guys. Not 2000, 2020 or 2019, my guys, my people. So he's improved since then. But will he ever be able to grab a championship? No, not with the champions there. Jao Apataya, Zerda, Ramirez, no. Badu Jack, no. Not even if David Benavidez becomes a champion there. It just becomes more dangerous, dangerous for him, my guys. So I don't know what he can really achieve in terms of legacy in professional boxing. Maybe it's best that he sticks to his original lane. Go back to the influencer, YouTuber type of matchups, my guys, my people. Why doesn't he fight KSI, who's a huge name and has fought Logan Paul twice? Both fights were absolutely successful, my guys, my people. Or he can pick on Andrew Tate. Easy win. Easy win, and a big name. And I can guarantee you, a lot of people would tune in to watch Andrew Tate lose, my guys, my people. Because although he's liked by a lot of people, right, that will tune in, he's also hated by a huge amount of people, my guys, my people, for what he represents, right? He is an influencer, a motivational speaker, and represents masculinity and misogyny, basically, which I don't like. Apart from the masculinity part, I think that does need to be promoted, but misogyny, never that, my guys, my people. Jake would absolutely splatter Tate, who has been somewhat you know, been living a fake life in terms of him promoting you know, how good he is as a fighter. He was a former kickboxing champion, my guys, my people, but in this fight with Chase Damore, man, his technique was awful. The whole fight was awful. It was so bad. Like, he lost the fight, by the way, but it was so bad that he lied about his age. He said he was 40, but it's actually 39, and he lied that he hadn't fought for 10 years, but really he only fought, what, 5 years ago, 5 years ago in 2020, my guys, my people. Losing made him also lose his memory, my guys. I guess, my guys, my people. But I'm glad that Chase won this bout. Young 29 year old is a fighter. I don't know how. He's a boxer. He's registered online as a, well, I mean, the information put out there online is that he is a professional boxer. From where? I don't know. From Misfits? I don't know. He is the heavyweight champion on Misfits. And how did he come into, you know, into popularity? How did he come into popularity? I'm not sure, but he came into popularity through one of those reality TV shows, my guys, my people. Chase, he is a huge figure, my guys, my people. Seems like a decent kid. Seems like a decent kid. I'm happy he won. I'm happy he won, my guys. Good for him, my guys, my people. Tate, who is also the new CEO of Misfits, you know, and he's got beaten by one of his fighters, which is crazy, right? He just got beat up by one of his fighters. Madness, my guys, my people. Well, anyway, let's talk about the post-fight criticisms that came for AJ after his performance, my guys. AJ himself wasn't too happy about his performance, you know, but the criticisms, the narrative that is being pushed out there now, some are with the view that an elite fighter such as AJ should have cut off the ring better on Jake Paul to get an earlier stoppage, my guys, my people. And people also saying that he held back on his punches, my guys, my people. But I have to say this, right? AJ is a huge lumbering heavyweight. You compare that to Jake Paul, who's a cruiserweight, much smaller, by the way, in stature than AJ, and more nippy and nimble in his movement, right? So for AJ, trying to catch that all night would be like swatting a fly, and I don't think he did too badly in cutting off the ring, right? What AJ was having problems with was actually pinning down Jake Paul once he got to him. You know, that was difficult. It was almost like swatting a fly, my guys, my people. So the whole point for, you know, not overexerting himself, trying to cut off the ring, and overexerting himself, trying to throw hard punches, swinging in the air, is because he just wants to save his energy and wait for the appropriate time when the moving, much smaller target in Jake Paul would finally slow down. And once he did, he was there for the taking, my guys. We all saw it, my guys, that when Jake Paul was finally forced to fight, it was a total mismatch, my guys, my people. Total mismatch. You know, so I don't understand this you know, this moral victory that they're trying to award Jake Paul with. Where was the moral victory? He didn't come to fight, he came to survive. He came to survive, my guys, my people. Now, Nikisa Bidarian, the business partner of Jake Paul, he says that he thinks that Jake Paul won 4 rounds. I've watched the fight. Now, I don't know which 4 rounds Jake won. If I'm to give him a round, maybe the fourth round, right? The 4th or 5th round, my guys, my people. I would have only given him 1 round, and that's because there wasn't much activity in the fight, and he just landed just a few scraping blows, my guys, my people. So I would give him that. You know, Jake Paul in the fight though only landed 2 real significant punches, and that was a straight jab, a stiff jab in the 3rd round, and an overhand right in the 6th that struck AJ, just bounced off him. Good punch though, but it showed, as I predicted, that Jake Paul just doesn't have the power to hurt AJ. AJ didn't even feel that. I doubt if he even felt that punch, my guys, my people. So yeah, I can't see how you can give Jake Paul a moral victory and even go as far as to say that he won 4 rounds, my guys. Obvious, obvious attempts there for at damage control. I get it. Jake Paul is a hot commodity, my guys. He brings eyes to the sport, right? And he's making MVP rich. And Bidarian wants to stay rich. I don't blame him, my guys, my people. Um, Listen, I predicted that if Jake Paul passed 2 rounds, right, that this fight is absolutely rigged, my guys, my people. But I'm not going around trying to award Jake Paul a moral victory just because he surpassed my expectations. That's just absurd, my guys, my people. Now, if you're looking for from the view that you know, both the fighters weren't instructed on how to go about their fight, no, they weren't, right? So in that view, it wasn't rigged. But that 22 by 22 foot ring, that's not up. That's not rigging. Is that not rigging? That's for Jake Paul to run around as much as he did in the fight. Fell over every time AJ closed the distance on him. Obviously trying to avoid engagement, right? So he was totally scared in there. He looked like prey running from a predator. At one point he was trying to get away. He twisted his ankle, almost sprained it, my guys, my people. Yeah, so to me that's rigging, mate. That is rigging when you give an advantage to somebody, right, to do what they do. What about AJ? What about what he does? He's not somebody that moves around trying to run away, my guys, my people, right? But yeah, that was the whole plan all along, for Jake to survive. That's all he did. Came in there, ran around frantically as much as he could. Fell down whenever AJ closed the distance, in fear of engagement, my guys, my people. The hugging, the grappling, it was just terrible. Terrible fight to watch, my guys, my people. So Jake Paul, he came to survive like prey, running from a predator, my guys, my people. He came to survive. So you could see that big ass 22 by 22 foot ring as a form of rigging. You know, if you guys cast your minds back when both sides were agreeing terms, Eddie Hearn revealed that Bidarian approached him with a request for some disadvantages for AJ to have some disadvantages, ahead of the fight, my guys. Eddie Hearn revealed that such disadvantage would be the 245-pound weight limit that was put on AJ. But we all know that's nonsense, right? Because that 245-pound falls within AJ's optimum weight. He put up one of the greatest performances of his career against Usyk around that weight, my guys. Albeit that he lost, he performed great. I'm talking about the second Usyk fight, my guys, my people. So yeah, that was not that was not the disadvantage that was most effective here. The disadvantage was the ring. So that is a form of rigging. Even though the fight itself wasn't rigged, the way that it would turn out, right, it was set up. It was set up for Jake Paul to survive as long as he did, and we know why they did that. Obviously, for number one, they feared that Jake Paul would die in there, right? And then number two, obviously, for for damage control in the aftermath, as you have heard. Nikisa Bydarian claiming that Jake Paul won 4 rounds, my guys, my people. But with that said, my guys, I'm going to end it here with that fight, right? But let's talk about what is next for Jake Paul. I've given you a bit on that, but I'm talking in terms of business. Apparently he's in talks with Sky for a broadcasting deal, my guys, my people. Sky is interested in MVP Promotions roster of female fighters, my guys, my people. Sky, whose 36 million broadcasting deal that they had with Boxer, that ended earlier this year and they never renewed it. And Boxer is now with the BBC, my guys, my people. So Sky is without a promotion. They are without a promotion, and I'm sure they must be looking at things and be thinking, damn, the zone is taking everybody who is somebody. You know, they got Frank Warren over there, and then the biggest promoter in the sport, Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn, my guys. Even Oscar De La Hoya is there. All right. We know that Boxer and Shalom are not there, so they've been demoted to the BBC after leaving Sky, my guys, my people. And then, of course, Bob Arum and Top Rank are without a broadcaster after exiting ESPN, my guys, my people. And then we have the PBC, who are struggling with Amazon with no budget, but still keeping their neck above water and doing well, because some of the cards that they put out this year, phenomenal, my guys, my people, especially the David Benavidez Morel card, absolutely phenomenal. My guys, my people. But that being said, Sky is of course trying to re-establish themselves in the world of boxing, where they've had a very, very tight stronghold for decades, my guys, my people. Let's see if they can land this deal with Jake, or should I say, if Jake can land this deal with Sky, my guys, my people. I'm thinking Jake probably wants this, because if you think about the female card, that, well, the first and only female card to take place on Netflix under MVP, Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor Free, that was right. When you compare the viewership for that fight there, 7.6 million, I think it did. That was much smaller than what those same two fighters did on the undercard of Jake Paul, also on Netflix, my guys, right? Much smaller. They did I believe 60 million views. 60 million views on that undercard, right? Since Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, we have had, of course, Crawford and Canelo on Netflix, huge success, 41 million views, I believe, global views. And what else have we had? Then we've had AJ, Jake Paul, and they've all done much better than the you know, the only female card to be headlined by females, that is on Netflix and MVP Promotions, my guys, my people. So I think Jake Paul is sort of unforeseen that Netflix will not be putting on too many female cards in the future, because they don't represent huge shows, my guys, my people. So for more regularity, all right, for the women to fight as often as possible, Sky would be the best place, right? Sky would be the best place, my guys, my people. Yeah, Sky would be the best place. But let's see if you can land that deal. Of course, my guys, my people, because Sky are also interested in a broadcasting deal with Dana White and, of course, Zuffa Boxing. The very controversial boxing league that has been proposed by Dana White, TKO, and Turki Al Sheikh controversial because it is trying to mimic Dana White's UFC league structure. They're trying to copy that structure, my guys, my people. They want to rank their own fighters. They want to rank their own fighters. They want to have one belt where fighters can only engage in mandatory bouts, by the way. So every fight is a mandatory bout. Everybody gets to fight everybody. And who is the last man standing? Well, he's the undisputed champion. He will be the undisputed champion. But for Zuffa and Dana and Co to do this, well, they would have to effectively change or reform the Muhammad Ali Act, isn't it? Which is causing an uproar in the Wild Wild West Department of Boxing, fearing that Zuffa and Dana and Co are looking to take away the rights of fighters, my guys, my people. Be it so, my guys, my people. They're not coming to take over the sports entirely. So athletes will always have an option whether they want Zuffa or the Wild Wild West. It's just as simple as that. The Wild Wild West still offers the greatest avenue for fighters to be well paid. They get way more than they do on the UFC, my guys, my people. So with that UFC structure, you can't monopolize boxing with that. But if they can get their proposal passed through Congress, right, which I feel they would be able to, then they will be able to start putting on shows in 2026, and of course that would make a broadcasting deal with Sky absolutely more viable, my guys, my people. Sky, who are prioritizing Zuffa and Dana White over Jake and MVP, my guys, my people. I think they would get that to pass through Congress, because Dana is well connected. One of his best friends is Donald Trump, the most powerful man in America, my guys, my people. Enough said. Enough said. Now, once the bill is passed, right, Zuffa has already said that they will be putting on 12 shows in 2026, my guys, my people. It will be a whole different climate in the sport of boxing, my guys, my people. So many moving parts right now that I think that boxing is now entering a real revolutionary stage, my guys, my people. But with that said, that's all I have for you on this one. And before you leave, do like, do share, subscribe, of course. Drop your comments below, and as always, stay super blessed, my guys, my people, and thank you very much for watching. Stay blessed.